Come on, honey, it's time for school.
But Mum, I don't feel well.
Oh, honey, you feel like you have a fever. Let me check your pupils. Oh, I know what fever this is.
Directly under the post, Loon for him at dummy half. On to Marcus Marsh. Gives the ball out to Hasselman. Hasselman's got plenty of room to move. The Schmoodle goes. The line is over.
Good footy, boys.
They had the numbers, Aberdeen. They had the score, but Schmoodle in a good dry part of the field showed great strength. And Timmy Bridge at dummy half. Long pass out the back to Jake Watts. Into Topless. Topless has found room to move. He's under the posts. Stone lead, 8-6.
Great job by Thomas ahead. A little change in direction again. We talked about it early. A little step off the right, then the left, and straight under the pace.
Yeah, just a change of direction and pace.
The defence came up hard, Bomber, and Dave Hayden Topless.
Welcome to the Footy Fever Bengalla Group 21 Rugby League on the couch. Steve Reynolds, and as you can see, we've got a swagger guest, my fellow mate Paul Benkovic.
Afternoon, Rich, and everyone else.
Yeah, we've got a full contingent. We went from having a few missing here and there, and
We've had a few weeks off, haven't we?
we have just renovations of the studio and a few personal issues, but you know, we're back.
Flying.
Flying.
Look at it.
We've got the big, at the moment, piece of what would you call sporting greatness, the player of the year.
Well, quite apt, our mate Shawnee Millwood is hiding behind it. He didn't want it moved.
No, I was going to say that. He said this is the closest you've been to it.
I'll never get to it.
So your fellow mate Marcus Marsh has been on there, and a few big names along through the years, but Gary Gardner, Greg McCormack, John Johnson, Steve Feeney, Richard Jones, the great man from the Westpac helicopter, he's on there as well. So someone will walk away with the Tui's Bengalla Group 21 Player of the Year in a couple of weeks' time at the presentation night. Any tips for that, Shawnee, before we take it out from in front of you?
I haven't watched too many other games than Aberdeen games, like when they're at home, but young Clydesdale will probably be up there. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know who's been missing what weeks and whatever, but he's probably been most consistent that I've seen, so
I'd have to say
it'd be my tip.
It would have been wrapped up a couple of weeks ago, I think, whoever it was, but you know, usually we say it, that those players take points off themselves. Let's bring Pete Holland into it. Pete, good afternoon.
Mate, how are you?
Yeah, it's going great. What do you think, Adam Clydesdale?
Yeah, he's pretty consistent, isn't he? I mean, it's going to be hard to topple, I reckon.
Yeah.
He'll get close.
He's got a lot of competition there. You look at TJ Johnson and the likes. He's been consistent throughout the year. You know, even as go into the Dem side, you've got your young fella that's played every game.
He's gone exceptionally well. He's done his bit. But look, I think it's a lay down misère, mate. I think Lillian Forum's got it in the bag. Yeah. I really do, because I only say that, and I've said it a few weeks ago, Pete, and welcome to Jacko as well. And we'll get there shortly. But mainly because Scone have got so even across the board. Now, Clydesdale does stand out, but he's had a few weeks off, and whether it's another Guy Thompson from last year, whether it was wrapped up with weeks to go because he was suspended for 6 weeks, Shawnee.
Yeah,
he had enough lead. I fair income. I couldn't believe it when his name was read out. But if that's the case with the Clyde. Well, congratulations, but I see the referees looking at people like Ritter. They're looking at Isaac Austin's been playing well. Radford's been playing well. There's a host of boys, Nick Watson and Timmy Smith, Topless, and that's what I'm saying. Because they've been winning comfortably on most occasions, the referees might be going to someone beyond Adam to look at it and sharing those points. And it's happened before many, many times. Whereas, every week Liam or, a couple of boys seem to stand out. I don't think Liam's missed too many games either, Sean.
No, I don't think so, no.
And that's why that's just my pick.
Well, it's been 13
13
years since Daniel Ritter last won it.
Okay.
13 years, so he's had a wow of a year. whether the referees are looking at names and the likes that just, Adam Clydesdale, he always stands out because we call his name every second play just about, and when he's in dummy half, he's creating havoc. So, but yeah, no, we can remove that piece of memorabilia if you want, Paul, so as we can see the luscious beard of...
we can see Shawnee Millwood's ugly melon. So I don't want to have me back to the camera.
You wanted to bend over in front of the camera.
But I also don't want to drop...
It's not that TV show that you were on, mate.
I also don't want to drop this. Fair dinkum.
That's a big piece of memorabilia.
Where do you want it, Reg?
Just stick it down there,
Got a
mate.
little bit of weight in it.
We'll stick it down there somewhere in the studio. We've got to get it up to get engraved, so it's going in to get engraved tomorrow. So it'll be very interesting. Yeah, just keeps... Look at you, you're having a great time.
Great television, this.
Yeah,
I can give you the tip, Reg. Well
we
done.
usually had someone come in from the side.
Well
I was going
planned,
to
Reg.
bring Jacko into it just yet, but Jacko, I've come a gutser and now he's just trashing the joint.
Yeah, mate, it's getting worse and worse, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome along, and I guess the first topic is last week your fundraiser, mate. What an outstanding turnout, mate. You've got to be very happy and humbled by that.
Yeah, overwhelmed with the support, not only on last Saturday, but since the injury. It's been 5 weeks and it's been ongoing nearly every day. I'm still getting the phone calls and the text messages and the visits, but last Saturday, I can't believe the amount of people that were there. It was shoulder to shoulder the whole night. Comedians put on a great show. So thanks again to them and Steve Andrews and the Bottom Pub for putting it on.
Yeah, no, it was Benko, we were there, and Matt Kenny, of course, and it was a fantastic evening. I did my best to get a couple of things. I only ended up with a Sharks jumper. But,
yeah, I think a couple of blokes in particular were just pushing you up in with their little hand raises, mate.
I didn't have the money to spend. I was trying to bid it up to get him a good value. So, going up against Jay Shepardson, I knew I was doing that on the last item, but.
A big rap Jacko to Steve's brother, Rob. Is it Rod or Rob? Rob, he was the MC for the night. He was outstanding. He was good.
He wasn't even supposed to be the MC, actually. The day before, so on the Friday, the MC got put in hospital.
Really?
To get stomach surgery, emergency. So Rob was supposed to be one of the acts. So he tried his best just to put his acts in part of his MC. So yeah, hats off to him.
Yeah, that was superb, mate.
Yeah.
I think was it Stephanie, the girl with the little ukulele? Is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh
yeah.
mate, I only stayed for the first 3 comedians. But poor Michael.
Yeah, he copped it.
He copped it.
Yeah.
It was a very funny night. Like I said, hats off to Rob, mate. Jacko showed me today. We've been hanging out today, and he showed me the videos of the belly dance and everything that I missed. When he done that song, shaking his gut.
That's right, yes. I'd forgotten about that, but they were all outstanding. Every comedian was really good, and the young girl with the ukulele she was very, very funny.
Very funny. How much did we end up tallying up from the night?
So at the moment there's just over 13 grand in the bank account. So with that money, I'm gonna. We're looking into going into a rehab facility. So there's East Maitland at the private hospital. There's another one in Newcastle. Yep. So we're just getting some more information on which one's going to be best suited for me. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll go down there and just more physio and everything that's down there. So
the one in Newcastle's pretty good too. It's got a hydrotherapy pool and it's pretty intense physio. So it's something to look into. But all the best, 13 grand, mate. That's a fantastic effort. And I did hear that the Scone Old Boys had a round at one of their games, and so did Aberdeen and Murrundi. They raised some money. Singleton.
Yeah, just about. I think every club. Merry was the last ones to donate, and they had a game of golf on Saturday. So besides, I think everyone's chipped in a bit there, which is overwhelming again, and just shows how close Group 21 is as a community.
Yep. It's been a great year for not so much injuries, but seeing we've had 4 teams in first grade, but the amount of people proactive and getting involved and trying to build up. When someone falls on hard times, we had Ryan Holman, of course. Yeah. That's still ongoing, but we don't like to see people fall on hard times. And certainly, mate, we're always here. And like I said, we had a good lunch today, so went down to Eaton's. We did.
Did you shout, Reg?
Don't be silly.
Stone silence, boys. How's that?
A Sharks jersey and
You're not bad.
Anyway, I wasn't even allowed to have my wallet, was I?
No.
That'll do, mate.
Well done, and well done to all the comedians and everyone involved with Jacko's night. It was fantastic. Last night, boys, the group Tuesday night, the Group 21 had the meeting with regards to moving forward. There's been whispers come out of it, but there's nothing we can really substantiate. We haven't received any information, but all things are looking positive for next year, and there's going to be a meeting coming up in the next few weeks, probably just after the grand final, where members from each club and the coaches and that'll be asked to attend, and anyone interested in going forward with the group. I don't think that the word I heard was, well, you know, we spoke about throughout the year, you know, merging with Group 4 as an option. I just don't. I think that's easy work. I don't think that's the hard work, Benko.
Oh, look, we've got to do something right here in this for all the people that have, and all the players and all the families that enjoy Group 21 Rugby League. That should be the number one priority, Pete. I don't know what your thoughts are, mate, and Shawnee's thoughts are, but we certainly should be looking after our own first in our group. It's always been strong, and this year's just one of those extraordinary years that we've had, and I'm sure, you know, down the track we can look back and say, well, okay, it was one of those years we had to have, and then we move forward from here.
I don't think we needed to have it, but
no, I know, but the way it panned out is just, unfortunately, we can't do nothing about it now. We're a week away from the semis, but just on that, I'll put an open invitation for anyone from the group executive to come on and just have a yarn to us about it, and maybe that might be frowned upon. They might put the garlic necklace on and not want to come on, but it's just it's always here for an invite for someone from the group to come and have a yarn and, you know, let us know what their thoughts are for 2020.
Think they will?
I don't know.
It'd be nice if they did.
Yeah.
I mean, this year
trying to get the word out
been
there.
pretty ordinary, unfortunately, because we've only got the 4 teams. There's still no guarantee that we'll see 6 teams next year running in first grade. That'd be good if we do, but there's still no guarantee of it. So to know what the future holds for Group 21, it'd be really good to be able to speak to someone from the authorities.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Benko's got plenty of questions to ask. So
I don't know about that, but I'll find some.
you're never
I'll
short
make
of,
some up.
You're never short of questions, mate.
I'll make something up, Rich.
But tonight, Greater Frankston Colts are having a meeting down there at the Greater Workers Club. It's probably still underway now, but to discuss moving forward and what they're going to do with their club. I've been just having a bit of a chat to Ronnie Griffith on social media. We've had a bit of to and fro, so I'll tell you what, geez, it'd be good to see him back there and trying to rebuild that club.
What's your gut feeling for Gruder next year?
I think if they're determined, I think gets, you know, some fresh blood in there, some old heads back there. You know, they've got some great clubmen throughout the years that have been there. But I think it's time to rally the troops. I think that they can have a first grade, and I think that they can pull people from the fringe of the Newcastle comp, because when a club's going through a dire period and you've got club legends like 150 games this weekend, Sean Millwood, to see out the hard times, to be those guys that go back and help fix a club, there's no better feeling, you know. And for the blokes that have been there through that hard time to be involved, mate, I wouldn't write them off. I think that Greater Frankston Colts have got a lot to offer down there, and I'd love to see them strong. I'd love to see them back, sticking it to them. Like I said, you know, Joby Patton, Ronnie Griffiths on those, the player of the year. Let's get them back. It's only positive for the group. So, you know, they're on the fringe of the Newcastle comp. That can be a double-edged sword. Lose players, gain players, but for the players out there, what a challenge! You know, get back there, build the club, restart the pillars and the foundations, and get a solid club happening. So, gut feeling is they'll be there.
Good.
But yeah,
They got a couple of good junior, like young boys coming through reserve grading at the moment.
Yeah.
Like you said, they just need a couple of hard heads in between.
I'd love to see Brady Hammond back there.
Yeah, them 3 triplets up
The
there a
triplets,
couple of years. They
they've
were
been-
good boys.
They've been doing a lot with triathlons at the moment, so you know there's plenty of passionate people down there at the Greater Frankston Colts. I just think that, like I said, it's time for a bit of fresh blood, time for a bit of old heads back, and start knuckling down. The problem being is they're a club from juniors through to seniors, and you either get the president that's interested in junior league or senior league. You need an independent person, I think, at the top, and then 2 subcommittee type things like a senior vice president for senior league and a junior vice president for junior league, and then filter it from there. But that's for them. That's how I do it. I'd have someone sit independently at the top. But yeah, look, it is what it is. But we can only pray and wish and hope that our promotion of Group 21 this year, I mean, you've been a big fan of it, Shawnee. You wanted the reserve grade videoed a few times, and probably this weekend will be a big one for the 150 game.
Yeah, well, it's hard, but you know, you can't be everywhere on the same day, kind of thing too, Reg. You know, it's hard, but there's a couple of people like you get them a rundown on that they video their home games.
Yeah.
Just I don't know the ladies, but just the locals. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it'd be good if it was more. You could find more games.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, look, it's something that we've spoken about, Paul and I and the rest of the team, about for next year. But your big 150 this weekend, you've got to be proud about that.
yeah, man, I'm pretty stoked to tell you the truth.
Yep.
You know, yeah, don't want to talk myself up or nothing, but I've been there for a bit, and yeah, just to get over that, like there's a few good boys that got it earlier in the year, and I think Lee Mitchell plays his 100th same day, so it'll be old boys day up there too, so last home game of the year, so it's going to be a good day. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get out there to tell you the truth.
But let's talk about it, that 150 games, they haven't been all smooth sailing. You've been through the hard times too.
Yeah, plenty of years there, wooden spoons. I think we used to get bashed by Singleton 140-0 each week, but stuck it out, like you're saying. You just got to ride it out to the good times. But last three years we've been in the grand final, so it's been good. And
you've probably heard in the commentary, Benko and I have been. They need Shawnee out there, basically, haven't you, Benko?
Oh, mate,
you're in the Sean Millwood bandwagon.
Well, you need a mouthpiece. Yeah. And you know, no, but he knows what I mean. Yeah. Shawnee knows what I mean. I've known Sean and his brother since this high through touch footy, haven't we? You know,
that's right,
and the thing is, and I've said it, every team needs that person that can G up. And that when it's needed, you need someone to get out there and just give it. And you have to do it, you know, vocally. You just can't. You can't be statues out there. So you've got to have that input into the game, regardless of what you think. You have to have that input. And just like every sport, you need to be appealing to the referees because, you know,
standing there like Jesus.
You know, you can't. I mean, Jeff Tooby from Manly was a specialist at it.
Right.
He had the arms out, and you got to do it. It's part and parcel of the game. And there's been many times that I have done the call. They need Sean out there, and you know, make no apologies.
We spoke on that Singleton before you took the field on the weekend, and there was a lack of communication out there, wasn't there?
Right, definitely.
Before you went on the field, there in this, I think it was just late in the first half, midway through. It was just that lack of communication out there. I mean, I don't want to shoot anyone down, but I thought the forward pack obviously rely on Marcus Marsh a bit too much.
Definitely, mate. He's got a massive workload, and I think he plays full game every week in, week out, front row, and it's like in reserve grade we've been missing Grazer.
Yeah.
And just you can tell someone's not like there's no one's picking up his load. You actually know how much they do when they're not there.
Yeah.
And they definitely missed him. Travis Bateman out wide, even Harry Douglas. He's the same as me. I was giving the ref a spray, so they missed him too.
It's mandatory.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
But definitely missed Marcus Marsh up front.
Oh, well, look, last weekend, you know, you were down a few players, Singleton near full strength, but there was that, the communication just seemed to be something that was out the door. Marcus Marsh, I said the week before, just look, a couple of weeks before, they just looked around for a dummy half and they go, here you go, Marcus, go.
Right, yeah.
But besides Liam Foran leading the way with those, you know, front row hit-ups that he's been doing throughout the year, I thought it was the most lethargic game I've seen from the forward pack.
Definitely.
And I'll throw that out there. I'll probably cop criticism, but if they didn't pull their fingers out, I'd think a few would have. Tyler Prince Campbell, yeah.
He just bashed it one out all day, and you can't do it on your own. But it was tough out there. Wasn't. No, I don't know.
Is Hoogs playing?
No, he didn't.
Hoogs is out as well.
Yeah, that's right. So they're missing a few. Yeah, it's not an excuse, but it's not what they needed. One down in the semis, but I think we done it the other year in 2016 or 17. Greta hadn't won a game all year, and they dusted us down there, and we thought our season was over. We scraped through for fourth, and ended up coming back beating Musbrook in the grand final. So I'm not going to write them off, but yeah, get them troops back.
Do you think some of it on the weekend might have been down to the fact it wasn't going to have any real impact on the ladder?
Yeah, I'm not sure, mate. Like personally, I'm not first grader. I'm reserve grader backing up, but yeah, I don't know if the boys didn't show up or whatever, but I don't go out in the football field thinking it's worth nothing. But you know, it might have been in the back of their heads, mate. Yeah, so
No one wants to get
Because
flogged.
it seemed very quiet. Like I was down on the sideline there, and it seemed very quiet out on the field.
Yeah, I'll give it to Singleton, but they really ran their structures well, and they had big bodies just bashing up the middle.
And it was very ordinary conditions to be playing in.
And we just couldn't slow the ruck down, man. You can't slow the ruck down, you got no chance.
No.
You know, no chance at all. But they played a good first half. They come out firing, and the boys, they just couldn't match it early with them, and then before you know it, you're down 30-0, and
they used the wind to their advantage definitely in the first half, and then it died down for the second half.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys didn't have the same run with it.
I think the sun come out with about 10 minutes to go. So.
I was happy with that after the rain earlier.
Jai Bailey, of course, had to play for Singleton. They were down, so he played dummy half, and I've got to say, I think he did a good job for them. But he was, you know, we see him on the sideline, Benko, and see how frustrated he gets and that. But even out there, he was, you know, for Christ's sake, stop these errors, with other words. But you know, it was a really sloppy game.
I think that's what Singleton been missing too. That someone just to tell him how it is. You know what I mean? But he directed him well from. No, I think he got 2 tries.
Yeah.
Played well. I don't think he played big minutes, but he went out there. I think that Red can come in to 9 when he went off, and he's just got that pace around the ruck. And like I said, we weren't controlling the ruck, man, and they were just that Frank Paul and them boys. They were just rolling up the middle.
Yeah, Ethan Edwards just goes all day, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that fullback,
Jim Bradley.
Will.
He was in the
semis. Oh, yeah, he's strong, and he'll just come third tackle, and he's hard to put down too. So they played a really good game against us, but I think that's given them the confidence they need rolling into the semis too. You know.
Pete, the old commentator's curse. I actually did say. I know you were thinking about it just then when you were saying it. Jai Bailey's not going to run from dummy half and get a try. And little 2 plays later,
sure enough, back
2 plays later, it was his first try. And I went, oh no.
To show it wasn't a fluke, he did it a second time.
Yeah. But no, that, you know, what about this? The Denman game, Benko was called off with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, look, the boys were down to no subs on the bench. They think another guy was injured. They scored a try scone to make it and converted it to make it 68-0, and there was 20 minutes to go. And with 4 juniors still on the field, they backed up from their junior game an hour or so earlier. They ran on, virtually started the game.
Yeah.
Jackson Stair started at lock. Both the wingers, wasn't it, Jacko? Both the wingers were there. Lockie Barry, that was one of the wingers. And I think the rest of them, half a dozen, were the reserve grades. They only had 2 subs to start with, but look, it's just been horrendous for the club this year, and I think the likes of Jay and Reggie, they would be devastated with the results. But in saying that, there's a lot of positive thinking out there that if they can get everyone back for maybe not this week, but for the minor semi-final, and I think a few boys are due to come back. I don't know, and I say this with all tongue-in-cheek, I don't know if anyone's ever won the wooden spoon in the premiership in 1 year, Reggie.
They only need 3 games.
Wow.
Yeah, they've only got to win 3 games, Reggie.
Well, my thing is, and you know, if they get Adam Gretsch back, which Dylan Thorne comes back if he's been doing some fitness. You get Pritchard back, all these big names back.
Well, Pritchard has been back. Andrew has been back. They're looking at Dan Ellis, Joshy Scrimger, Jordan Mulheron, Reynard Ladigan. Reynard Ladigan. Look, if some of them aren't back this week, I'm led to believe that maybe all but one will be back for the minor semi.
And if you look at the ladder too, like reserve grade and 18s probably both aren't going to make it. So the blokes that do play 2 games every week are only going to be playing 1 come finals time. So
they'll be a lot fresher, Jacko. You're spot on, mate. They will be. And I just want to say one thing about them juniors that have been backing up. And I've said it before, Reggie, and to Pete, for Pete and Shawnee, who probably haven't seen a lot of the boys. People like Jackson Stair, I think this has been unbelievable for that kid, and I don't know a lot about Jackson Stair, but I tell you what, that guy started at lock on the weekend against the likes of Ritter, Radford, Todd Lowry.
Not an easy
the
task,
list
yeah.
goes on, and I thought Jackson Steer was unbelievably good in a hiding. There's no question. But you know what? He never shirked his task. There was a few boys. There was a lot of boys. They never shirked their task. It's just their defence that is struggling at the moment. They never stop. They give it their very best. The defence is obviously the biggest drama, and that's a given when you've got Scone are running right, and most of their tries came out wide as well. I must say that, and some of the younger boys just couldn't match it for speed with Timmy Smith and and JJ Apthorpe was 5'8", Reggie, and fair dinkum.
Makes for a long day tackling all day.
But I do want to give a big thumbs up to those juniors that have been backing up, for the last month or so.
Look, I haven't really sat back and thought about it, Jacko. I've always looked at the Scone Aberdeen Singleton since the Denman decimation being decimated with their injuries. But you think about it, it's a potential. It could be an upset. You go back to that could match fitness might be the only thing that lets them down, but talent certainly is coming back. And Gretschy's not one to let things stay in the bank. He'll be leaving it out on the field. So
well, mine a semi-final day, Reggie. If fingers crossed, if the hopes are there, if it is what I'm hearing it is, they won't leave anything. They won't leave anything, out there.
We done it in 2015. 2015 we were sitting in 5th place and had to beat Scone in the last game to make the finals and ended up winning the grand final. So it can be done. We were the underdogs all year in 2015 and had to win the last 2 games, I'm pretty sure. We won them both and then...
It's a hell of an ask. It's a hell of an ask because I don't think a lot of the boys have been... Gretschy probably has struggled, Pete and Shawnee, with getting guys to training and trying to work out some structures and some the way that he wants the boys to play, because he's been trying to he hasn't known the side until the reserve grade's finished, and the likes of Lockie Barry and Andy Parks and Jackson Stair and so on. He's hoping that they're getting through junior game as well, so they can back up. But
it's scary to think, actually, Benko, that you think of a team coming from 4th spot like when Trent Walker and you guys won that grand final out there, at Scone, with a bit of momentum and that hunger, and then they get the taste of it.
That's right.
Who wants to be playing them in the preliminary final?
Well, finals is just like a new competition starting all over again. So what's happened before is irrelevant.
Yeah, totally.
It comes down to that last few weeks of it, and it's a brand new competition.
Absolutely,
Pete. I think it's going to get interesting. Like now, just sitting here talking about it, I really think this,
especially with the amount, if Denman have got them all due back, it opens the finals.
Look, the big thing there is that Singo, they're a very, very good side, and they've pushed the two teams above them all year. And the negative against Denman is that it'll be down there at Pertec Park. And they will have a massive crowd down there for that minor semi-final on that Saturday afternoon.
You can wheel yourself door to door and knock on the doors of people, mate. Say,
That's
can you
it.
get Pertec Park?
Get the bus going.
Get the bus going. Well, let's talk about it. Last week's games in Ladies League Tag, Merriwa 60 defeated Denman 0, Murrundi 14 beat Scone 4, and Aberdeen 18, Singleton 8. Aberdeen girls, right into the season, they're coming good, but they're still... They won't make it, but Chelsea, is it Kelsey French? Yeah. What an addition to that side.
Definitely.
If they can keep that side now with that momentum that they've got next year.
That's right. I think half the girls are very young too, so the last 5 weeks, man, they've really played well. But I think Musbrook's got the bye this week, and I think they've got...
No, they played Denman, I think.
The ladies do?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Musbrook got
in the girls, Mussy played Denman, and
well, there you go,
I think they've sewn 4th spot up, mate.
But if there was another couple of weeks,
and
like you're saying with Denman, it's semi-final footy, anything could happen. But no, the girls, they should hold their heads proud. But I think they've won too many games the last couple of years, and they've got a couple of young good girls there, and Kelsey French. If she was out at the start of the year, it'd be a different story. But
no question.
No, they've had a good back end of the year. Old Albert's pretty stoked with them, so.
Oh, he's got to be. What they've done and where they've come from the hidings to sticking together as a nucleus of the side to now.
They've been training hard.
Wow.
every week. They got most of the girls there each week, and they train hard. So yeah, we'll see next year how they go. They stick around.
Yeah, Murrundi 14 beat Scone 4, Pete. When that news came through,
I was shocked at that result. I didn't see that one coming. I thought Scone, probably would have rolled on towards the semis without a loss in the last couple of weeks. But I don't know if they were missing a few or Murrundi just played out of their skin. But
Murrundi was my dark horse for the ladies.
We've spoken about it, haven't we, Benko? Murrundi.
Well, I watched the majority of that game, and Murrundi they shut down their key playmakers so well. They shut down Sophie. Sophie didn't have a lot of room. Sophie Casson, that is, and it was 4-4 with about just under 10 minutes to go. Yeah, right. And they scored a great try, and Hannah Rando, right at the end, Daryl's daughter, she scored a great try, and a couple of mistakes by Scone girls in crucial field position. Just Hannah got a bounce of the ball when a kick went through, and the Scone girl shied away from it. She jumped high above everyone else, grabbed the ball with about 5 moves to go, and raced over and scored. Fair dinkum. It was like Christmas time, and they were seeing Santa Claus. It was just they come from everywhere. The Murrundi girls. It was absolutely brilliant, and I agree with you, Shawnee. Yeah. Look at that points ladder, 26-24. You couldn't have it any better than that for a major semi-final. Yeah, in a couple of weeks' time, that's going to be sensational.
Then Murrundi guys, they'll take a lot of confidence out of that.
Oh, they were so happy, and it was great to see.
And Merriwell kicking on, of course, they've been very strong. They won the CRL 9s at the beginning of the season and put him on a 60-0 against Denman. Very talented side.
Those Denman girls, each week you see they've got big scores against them. Not very often.
They've got big smiles at the end of the game too.
That's it. And I spoke to Jay Shepard a couple of weeks back, and he was saying they're there, a good 10-15 minutes before training. Every single one of them's there every week, wanting to train, wanting to learn more about the game. So it can only be good for Denman in the future.
That's right. That's in all the grades for Denman. I think a couple of years they'll be strong.
Yeah, they all get back down to the bottom pub for the presentation every week, and I agree with what Pete said. I think not just Denman, but I think the ladies' league tag is really looking good for the future. Really good.
Singleton 28 defeated Aberdeen 0, and Scone 40 defeated Denman 20 in the under 18s. Now we've gone from having draws in the under 18s consistently and very close matches to now blowout scorelines.
Yeah, that's it. Just goes to show that each week it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Well, that was Denman's last chance, really, to try and secure. They had to beat Scone, and unfortunately for them, that it didn't happen. But they held their own. They held their own, the boys, and Scone. That Scone side is a pretty good side. A really good team.
Got some big kids.
They have.
I was really shocked at the Singleton 28, Aberdeen 0. I've seen them play before, and they're two quality sides, but for Singleton to keep Aberdeen scoreless...
I think Aberdeen, the 18s boys, they started with 13, had no one on the bench. They lost one for 10 minutes. I don't know what happened there, but...
professional foul, I remember.
But I think it was only 4 or 8-0 at half time, and then they just couldn't stick it. Singleton's got a very big pack in that 18.
Oh, yeah, what would they do?
And the boys, they were ran off their feet.
In front of some of them.
Yeah. In the reserve grade fixtures, Aberdeen 26 defeated Singleton 14, Muswellbrook 18 defeated Greta Brankston 12. That's a close one. Scone 60 defeated Murrundi 0, and Merriwell 30 defeating Denman 6. The Aberdeen versus Singleton, you're in the thick of it. It wasn't a bad game to watch.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was bad conditions, like it was blowing. It was coming in sideways, but yeah, no, Singleton, they got a big pack. They just dropped too many balls, I reckon.
Yep.
Like when the game was on the line, I think it was 12-10 at one stage, all up, and then we kicked off and the ball nearly come back to us, and we got the bounce and scored off the back of that. And
was that the one straight off the kick-off?
Yeah, so we're gonna,
unbelievable.
Got to bring that up.
I think that's what changed the momentum.
I think that's the quickest try I've seen scored from your own kick-off.
Yeah, no, so we got bounce of the ball there, but like you said, when you go into semi-finals, it's going to be a different story. I think we'll have to play them down there in front of their own crowd. And
Now, Benko's boy, Christian Kirby, how do you stop him? He runs with a smile on his face like as if it's little kids in the under-7s going, good luck. Good luck.
Big boy.
There's no question you've got to hit him at the advantage line. If you let the big fella run and get some momentum, he's a tough nut to crack.
You go high, he bounces you off. you go low, he just runs over you. So
He's a bit like he's a bit like Chris Brennan from Scone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big bopper, Chris, and if you get some momentum and some steam up, I mean, fair dinkum, he just run over the top of you.
Oh, if Christian's the first to admit, if he was fit, he'd be one of the best in the first grade competition.
That's right,
But you know, he's out there having fun, and every time he gets the ball, you see that big smile on the face, like he's really going to try and do this.
well, Reggie, on a serious side of things, that was a big loss for Singleton.
Yeah.
Because this week, and we'll get to them very shortly, but they probably expected to beat you guys, Shawnee, down there at their home ground, because they can be as optimistic as they like, but this week they've got to play Scone and Muswellbrook. If Muswellbrook have a cruisy win over Denman, well, Singleton are probably going to find themselves out of the top four for the semi-final. So I think that they'd be devastated with that loss last week to you guys, Shawnee.
They always step up against us. I think we played them in the last couple of grand finals before last year, and they've nearly been in the last 12 or 13 grand finals before last year.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they were disappointed. You could tell they were disappointed, but yeah, that's football, isn't it? But I think it's going to come down to for and against. Is it fourth and fifth?
It will be, mate. Yeah, it's only the Rams and Singo, obviously. And I think off the top of my head, and I did ask a couple of boys today, I think there's about 30 points in it.
Right.
You've got the sheet there.
Yeah, and it is about 30 points, Reggie. And if it can go either way, if Scone put a number on them, and Muswellbrook have a cruisy win, like I said, against Denman, I think Muswellbrook may just scrape in.
The 18-12 against Greta wouldn't have helped them, but
no, they probably. I
That
think
was a close game.
by their own admission, they may have thought that they could have put another 20 on top of that score, you know, at the very least. But they were disappointing with that effort against Gruder, and I think Gruder nearly scored right on the build, except that nearly levelled it up. But to the Rams' credit, they held on.
The Merrywood Denman game, of course, that was played earlier on in the year
That was played on the long weekend.
So,
even though that ended up 30-6, I was at that game, and Denman really did stick it to Merrywall for probably 50 minutes of that game. They stuck with him, and it could have gone to Denman easily. They had a couple of drop balls by memory, and then Merrywall just ran away with it in the last 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, look, they had a good weekend off, and as Jacko said, they had the golf day out there, so they stayed together pretty much. It's a great club out there, and you know, to do that donation as well, that's awesome, and well done to them on their weekend off. But Singleton 40 defeating Aberdeen Zip in Pertec Park in first grade, and Scone 68 Denman 0. That Singleton 40 versus Aberdeen 0, I did not expect that. Let me just say that right now. And that's what it comes. It was a very lethargic forward pack. The backs tried, except for Tyler Prince Campbell. There wasn't much consistent go forward.
The only other one who I thought was trying to really go forward was Foreign.
Yeah,
as you see him do every week.
Dylan Porter in the centres did. He was centres, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played centres. Yeah,
he did
but
a great
the
job.
Singleton online defence, like there were quite a few times that Aberdeen probably should have scored.
Yeah,
but the defence scrambled exceptionally well, and they showed what they could do.
I think Lee Mitchell popped his head through a couple of times off Haas, but just like you said, they were covering. But yeah,
their line speed defence was as good as Scone.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
it was as good, and that's what I said. Someone has to match it with Scone.
Be interesting to see how that goes this week. That match, Singleton and Scone, because last couple of times they played, Scone have really put numbers on them, and if they can bring that sort of defence they had last week.
Well, it starts at 10:20 down there at Pertec Park with Singleton versus Scone in the ladies' league tag. The under-18 Singo versus Scone at 11:20. Reserve grade 12:30 Singo versus Scone. And first grade Singo versus Scone at 2 o'clock. I'm just going to ask you now. What do you think? Can Singo roll Scone after that last week's performance, or?
Well, they're going to have to. Any team who's coming up against Scone are going to have to get like the bounce of the ball, get all the calls early. But if they can stay with them for the first 20-25 minutes, I think like they've got a big side across the board. Singleton. Just depends if Clydesdale's back. You don't know who's playing six, but yeah, if they get the bounce and they're in the game with the first 25, I think it'll come down to it. But yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one. Singleton's just got a bit. Scone's got too much strike across the board, really.
Yeah. Oh, right. From their hooker onset, they've got a number of hookers in the side. You can use Wicks there, John Johnson, Adam Clydesdale, of course, being the first preference.
Brady Curry.
Yeah, Brady Curry. Yeah. Oh, look, It's a
Is
good side.
Is it a week, boys, to for Scone? I don't, especially in first grade. Is it a week to maybe spell someone if they're got a niggling injury that they on any other week they'd play?
I don't think they will.
You don't think so?
No, I
They're
think
still undefeated.
Aaron Watts.
Yeah, they want to stay undefeated.
Aaron
There's no
Watts.
question.
Aaron Watts, even if they're up, even after that scoreline of say 40-0, if they 68-0, he'd still find in the route where they need to improve. Don't get too carried away.
No, I mean I was there last week, and the reserve grade side is fair income. They could play first grade. The way they're travelling, the Scone boys. Nick Watson, Gary McCoon was there, Jared Austin. He had a blinder of a game, Jared Austin, and
Big Aiden Edwards.
yeah, I'm just thinking whether they could rest a couple. Now Clyde didn't play last week, and neither did Joey Adams. Didn't play last week. Reggie either. So I don't know if Joey's out injured, or it might have just been that week of shift work.
Yeah, well, on Saturday, the Ladies League Tag, Muswellbrook at 1 o'clock play Denman and play reserve grade. The under 18s are at 2 p.m. and then reserve grade at 3:10 p.m. The last time going there at Muswellbrook for the round. What's your thoughts on those three, boys? We'll start with you, Pete.
But Muswellbrook have still been getting good crowds, considering that they haven't had a first grade side. They're still getting in behind their club and supporting them. I think Muswellbrook probably will be too good.
You all three?
Yeah.
Yep. Benko?
Yeah, same. I agree. I wouldn't discount the Denman 18s. I think Muswellbrook will get away with it, but the Denman 18s, if they can just pick up their mistake rate, they will want to finish the season on a high, I reckon. Jacko, what's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think
Because they're a good young side.
I think Muswellbrook are going to be too good.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a bright future because there's been those 5 or 6 blokes that have been playing first grade. I'm pretty sure all of them are still under 18s again next year, so there's a bright future there. Looking forward to next year, but yeah, I think Muswellbrook's just going to be too good in all 3 as well.
I'll say the same thing. I think that and especially after now they've announced Benko, Marcus Bauer and John Deacon coaches for next year.
Yes.
It's great to see them come out and do that. That will hopefully fix the 4-team situation. I don't think Denman will ever not field a first grade side. I think that.
No, I don't think so. Even after the 2016 year we had and we were losing every game by 60 and 70, I don't think we'll ever pull out.
Yeah, it's a great attitude. That's what I like.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other game being played on that day, of course, Murrundi taking on Greater Branxton in reserve grade.
You wouldn't think Greater would want to forfeit their last round going up the range in their very last game for the season. I wouldn't like to see it, but the incentive is there not to go.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. I'd like to see them finish the season by getting up there and having a beer after the game with
Imagine
the boys.
if they won the game though, like they've just gone 18.
Mate, it'd be fantastic.
18-12 against
It'd be
Muswellbrook.
fantastic, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think they will. I think they'll turn up.
Yeah.
Sounds like I've got lots of faith in Greater Branxton. I do have a lot of faith in them, and I think that they can turn this around. Murrundi and Greater Branxton, it's going to be a cracking match, but I'm actually going to go Greater in that one.
I've only seen Greater in a couple of games and only half a game at that, but they seem to turn up and try their best on the day.
Yeah.
They could take Murrundi down, no problem.
Depends how many they get. They seem when they travel, they only seem to get 9 or 10 blokes every time they
That
travel.
does seem to be the big killer.
Hats off to the 9 or 10 blokes that seem to want to travel when the other ones just want to play at home. But if they get the full squad, I reckon it'll be a close game.
Last game, I reckon they will have their full squad.
I want to back.
Fingers crossed they do.
You going to back Murrundi?
No, I'm with Shawnee.
I reckon it'd be too cold up there for the Greater boys. But I reckon Murrundi's team on paper, they're probably the team all year that have disappointed me the most, like in reserve grade, because their team on paper, I thought they would probably be top 2 this year at the start of the year. So I think they'll get the win and definitely go back for a beer with the Greater boys and have a couple.
Yeah, I'm
Do
with
the
you.
chook raffles or something.
Now the game that you're calling on Sunday, Benko, the Aberdeen v Merriwood in the Ladies League tags 10:45.
I'm calling that game.
No, I'm going to get to that. You can call that one if you want. I think it's going to be a cracking game.
Thanks.
Do you know most of the names?
Pretty good game.
I wouldn't have a clue. I'd know a few girls.
Well, you're going to have to get
I don't know.
familiarise them.
I don't know if I'll
Merriwood
get there
girls.
that early, Rich.
10:45 is the Aberdeen v Merriwood Ladies League tag. The under 18s It's an old boys at 11:45. Sorry, is the old boys versus the Aboriginal brothers. Tell us about that.
I think I don't know how many boys they're going to have, but just so it's the old boys' day up there. They done it a couple of years ago, and I think they're only playing 25-minute halves or 15-minute halves or something. I don't think they'll be real fit, but
I think I remember that. That's when Webby Saunders and
that's right.
Steve Boney played in the Indigenous side, the Aboriginal brothers. That's a great initiative, isn't it? Benko? We've gone away from that this year and last year with old boys matches on Old Boys Day. I think it's got to come back. I think that it brings the crowds back. It's a good laugh.
It's also an opportunity for the families to get down there. And I think that's what I would love to see them. All the families get back down to all the games. And I know they do, but it's another opportunity and another option for the clubs to have.
Yeah, we used to do it a couple of years back at Merrywall for the June long weekend. Demon and Merrywall used to play their old boys.
That was a big day.
Yeah, that seemed to go out the window the last couple of years.
Because we had the men of league side out there as well.
Yeah,
we had that mixture, and that was a great day out. That used to be one of the best days.
It was hard keeping track of everything on the sideline, I can assure you. Because Aberdeen were there as well. They got involved. And just remembering who was going to play who, and everyone started swapping jumpers because old blokes were falling over near the bloody.
I like the 28-year-old, the 25 and 28-year-olds that class themselves as old boys and were still registered.
There were a couple.
Oh, come on.
I hope Frenchie's out there. Robert. Is that Robert will be playing? Surely.
I'm not 100% sure. But it's good because the boys, they'll get together after the game and probably haven't seen each other in a few years. And
Darby and Roddy Partridge will be. Darby and Roddy Partridge will be playing.
Roddy will be out there. Old Dev will probably pull the boots on. It'll probably be embarrassing for him, but he'll be out there kicking field goals.
I was going to say that. You watch Dev take a field goal.
I'll tell you what. If we get there early enough, I'll call that game. I'll get if we
Mitchell?
We'll get it going, and we'll have a little bit of a dribble while we're watching it.
Well, I believe Mitchell. I believe Mitchell's doing Sean's 150th game. So
Mitchell,
our cameraman,
one
of them. Ben's the other guy behind there, which I'll introduce you later. But
he's just over there.
You can just see his hat behind the camera.
Looks like Dickie Nee. But Aberdeen versus Merrywall, 12:30 in reserve grade. What's your tips, boys? It's his 150th game.
Yeah, the old boys will be close, but I'm a fan of Merrywall this year.
Yeah.
I think they've only lost 2 games all year, and it was when they had their spawn out. So I'm gonna have to go Merrywall. Sorry, Shawnee.
Shawnee,
they're sitting at the top of the ladder.
You can't pick on him. You can't hit him. He's in a wheelchair.
Did you guys roll them this year?
No, we've only played them once. I didn't play that game, but it was the day after Scone Cup, and half our boys showed up still wearing their suits.
I can understand why you didn't play.
But they're on top of the ladder for a reason. Like I haven't watched any of their games this year, and I didn't play them the one time we played them, but they're obviously up there. I think they knocked Scone off the other week.
Yeah, they beat them a couple of weeks back.
So they've got a squad.
So realistically, leading into a semi, that's a great hit out for you boys.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can sort some stuff out, and
that's right.
I reckon that you probably couldn't ask for a better match. You don't want to be winning 60-0 in your last game before the semis, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking Scone want you guys to win.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Scone want you guys to win. So what's your tip?
Well, can't go past the Magpies. Nathan Barry's trained them well all season. They got in nice and early in pre-season, and that's paid off for them this year. I think they'll unfortunately upset you 150, mate.
Jeez. Benko.
I got glasses on, you can't hit me either.
No, I'm going for the Tigers. I'm going to go for the home ground advantage, mate. And I know there's a fair bit of depth at Aberdeen, and I've seen Aberdeen a few times this year. I reckon they'll turn it on for you this weekend, Shawnee.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
I reckon they will, mate.
I think we might surprise Merrywall with the week off.
Absolutely.
Get a couple of points on them early and hopefully hold the lead, but we'll see how we go, eh?
Oh, well, if Dave Manane can get out of the wing and stop looking at himself on the bloody camera.
Chasing his shadow.
I think, he's a be a good chance. Really, your forward pack, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah, that's right.
If they've got to lay the foundation, Merrywall deserves a tip, but given your 150th game, I think the boys will lift.
Just quickly, Shawnee, you and Dave have got a great combo going, haven't you? You enjoy playing with, playing, and every time I see you run, you're looking for it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he's looking for him because usually he's back there going.
No. In all seriousness, your two of you combined well when you've been available.
Yeah, well, 2006 we played the grand final together. 7, 10, 16, 17, 18.
And
So
who's put on the most weight out of the batteries?
oh, I've got shit knees, but he's got. So yeah, I have played a fair bit of football with him.
No, that's my point.
Yeah,
I like that because you know each other's game so
right.
well, and I think that is
Sorry,
absolutely important when you got those teams. You know, trying to get that win.
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
you need that one guy that you can call on, and Dave's been fantastic.
Yeah,
this
well,
year.
on the weekend against Singleton, I think there was like 3 minutes to go and was still in the game, and I just went wide and skipped to Davey, and he went straight through, and like I know he knows what hole to run, and I know you know, but yeah, you get that. But we got young, I think Matty Jones come out of hooker on the weekend.
Yep.
He's added a fair bit to us up the middle, and
What about Grazier? Is he back this weekend?
I'm not sure if he's this week or next week, but he's still in that cast thing. But we're not going to rush him back.
Yeah.
But we've been missing him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Diggo played 13 there on the weekend, so didn't do the minutes that Grazer did, but he was good up the middle.
That was the first time I've seen an oxygen tank on the sideline, actually. So,
Not for Diggins.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I'm not missing anyone today. Singo versus going in first grade, boys. Oh, Aberdeen, Denman in first grade. Yes, 2 p.m. You don't know who's back, Benko?
No idea. No idea, Reg. I'll be only assuming. My word, the word I've been told is they might get a couple of extras back this week. But in saying that, I'd still like to see the likes of young Jacko Stair back up on the Sunday. He's been tremendous, as I've mentioned. Look, fingers crossed. But the worst thing for Denman is that loss last week. Someone would have got a good kick up the backside. And I think Aberdeen will come out all guns blazing this week, and you know, leading into a major semi-final the week after. I don't think Haas and the likes of Hoogs and Liam, that's not ideal. And I would say someone would have copped a dead set spray last night.
Yeah, Peter Fitz wasn't really.
No, that's the one thing. That's the one thing that's going to go against Denman. That Aberdeen would be absolutely ready to. You know, to rock and roll.
Plus Old Boys Day there.
Yeah.
They'll live for that.
For sure, mate.
Last home game of the year.
Old Boys Days at any ground.
That's right.
Everybody does seem to lift, don't they, and just play that little bit better.
All right, Singo versus game, all four.
Well, I'd like to see Singleton put in a really good performance. When we called that game in the Magic round before the lights went out, Singleton was sticking with Scone. If they can bring that sort of effort along and the effort that they showed with their defence last week, they'll give them a run, but Scone still to be undefeated.
Benko.
Oh, look, it's a tough call. I didn't see the boys play last week down there, but I can only go on what I saw last weekend with Scone. They were very, clinical. Everything they do has been spot on all year. They've had a couple of hiccups, as you guys have seen, and it'll be a hell of a game because Jai Bailey, if that's such a positive for him, that victory last week, I think they can nearly take this. This will be a very, very close game. I'm going to sit in the fan. I've got splinters in my backside. Sorry.
It's hard to back against Scone. I'll back Scone, but like I said, if Singleton can start quick, get a couple of points on them, it's anyone game. But it's like Ben said, it's hard. Scone have been doing it just efficient all year.
Yeah,
so
they are very regimented.
yeah, it's hard to back against them. But is it down there at Singleton?
Yep.
Well, them old boys on the hill will be giving them a bit of stick. So yeah, I reckon it'll be a close
No,
one.
it's actually pretty good because we give Bradley Schultz a microphone now, so he has to do the commentary.
That's why I didn't hear you.
No, you won't miss Holtzy though. He won't miss you either.
You didn't miss me.
I reckon it'll be a battle of the forwards. They both got big packs, but I still think Scone's too good.
With their line speed though last week, which is what impressed me, Pete. Singleton's line speed, it was mistake riddled. If they get those errors out of the game, I'm a bit like Benko. I'm sitting on the fence on this one. And it's going to be who turns up. Is Clydesdale playing Lowry? Does TJ Johnson come back? What have they got? We know Jake Hardy's out for 9 weeks, so
Is Ben Hagan playing?
is Ben Ben had a knee injury at the function for.
Is
Jacko.
is Michael Radford? Will this be his last game
I
for
think
the
he's
season?
going overseas.
Yeah,
But is this his last game,
I think.
Shawnee?
I was talking to him the other week out at
He
work.
did play last week.
did he?
Yeah, he said he was off. He's going to Europe or something. I don't know when, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. He was having ankle trouble, and he told me that he was out.
Okay.
But then if he played last week, yeah.
And Toddy Lowry only played 20 minutes, roughly 20 minutes last weekend. I reckon it's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it'll be a
wouldn't
great
mind getting
game
down
of
there
footy,
too.
that's for sure.
Absolutely. There's a lot of similarities between the sides. It's just right now up to this Scone, but like we said, Scone, just every player knows their role, and they've got a fantastic backline. And
Pace out wide.
Nick Watson's playing reserve grade, but geez, he can find the try line.
I'm just going to ask the young fellow, Ben, you're behind the camera, so you've seen both of them, Singleton versus Scone. Oh, well, there you go, Scone. He's been very talking the talk on the way when we've been travelling in the car and coming up with some great conversation pieces of to why he thinks the teams, and I don't think he's gone wrong so far this year, so Scone.
You
I don't know.
said a minute ago about Singleton having to fix up some of the errors they made last week. I mean, it was blowing an absolute gale.
Yeah.
It was almost sleet that come through, not rain, really. I thought they played very well for the conditions they were in. This week, going to be totally different. Sunshine and only a very light breeze at
27 degrees they're forecasting for Sunday.
25 to 26
That's
degrees,
true.
that's
Oh,
right.
that's it.
So
it's
it's
gonna
going to
be
be
a hot one.
perfect for footy.
Yeah, I think that Frank Paul's adapting a bit more to country football a bit now. You know, he's starting, but yeah, it's a tough one.
When he takes those dancing shoes off and decides to run straight, he's very hard to stop. But
He just carries the ball out.
yeah,
Did Dale Watson play last week?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He's been going super well.
So is Ethan Edwards, mate.
Yeah.
Like Ethan Edwards has just been. I can't fault their forward pack. It's just that they need to stop the one out stuff. The second phase plays where that, and it's the same with Aberdeen. The second phase. How many times did Aberdeen run up on the weekend against Singleton, and someone was stopped and paused with the ball out? And there was no one there.
Yeah.
So that second phase play needs to be on par. And I think that's where Harry Douglas comes into the game, and the likes for Aberdeen, Will Newenhouse for Singleton. If you're going to beat Scone, you have to get your second phase play, and you have to have your line speed to match theirs. No one shooting up out of a line for 80 minutes. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a cracking game down there at Singleton, and then we bring on the semi-finals, which is going to be the first one played at Scone, I think, on the Saturday. I think they've changed it around, Scone on the
Have they
Saturday.
really?
Yeah, major semi. And
So the
milestones on
major semi's Saturday.
I believe so, yes.
I didn't know that.
I did see that written in a draw, an amended draw somewhere. Yeah,
Okay.
but Saturday's the major semi.
So,
There you go.
So it's got something to do with Junior League, hasn't it? That,
I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, all juniors are there on the Saturday.
yeah.
Right.
So, that'd be fantastic in Singleton on the Sunday. So, we're in for it now. We're at the business end of the season, and of course, the presentation night coming up. If you want to send through who you think will be a tip, if anyone's got any hot tips, hit us up on Facebook. But Shawnee, good luck this weekend in your 150th, mate.
Thanks, mate.
You are going to be up for a task, and I think Mary will out to ruin your party, but it's time for the Aberdeen boys to really fire up, and I think those old boys will get them firing, don't you worry.
Yeah, 100%.
Benko, you'll be there.
I'll be there, mate, with bells on. I'll be really looking forward to it.
I'm really looking forward to your commentary of the old boys versus the
Yeah, look, if
Aboriginal.
I'll get there early enough, and I'll grab a program off one of Pete, or someone will hand me something. And I'll get Mitch, and we'll kick the video off.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Pete, I'll see you on the weekend. Or
Right, I'll be there, no problem at all.
You going to go to Aberdeen or?
Right, I might go up to Aberdeen and
Lucky you.
have a look at the reserve grade there.
That's what I wanted to be at.
See what happens.
That's a great day. I'll be at Singleton though, because Benko gets the privilege. I'll let him pick which one first. So.
Well, it might have something to do with me young fella playing A grade, Reggie.
Oh, right, right, yeah.
Dead set, Billy.
Yourself, you heading along?
I'm going to Musbrook on the Saturday.
Yep.
Watch the boys play. Sunday, I don't think so.
Yep. If you want to come down to Singleton, you're more than welcome. By the sounds of it, it'll be me and Bradley Schultz again hanging out on the roof. So.
You won't
Well, you had a choir up there with you on the weekend. What was wrong?
Oh, we
They were singing along. I heard them a couple of times.
Yeah.
I actually went down and Matty
Wouldn't
Kenny
say-
took over.
Wouldn't say it was appropriate singing all the time, but It was there.
Oh, they found this man. They found his mark. Don't worry, Luke Coles.
Didn't miss him.
Oh,
Yeah. Paul Daniel.
Paulie Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't miss him at all.
No.
So no,
They
good
never
luck.
do.
But good luck to all the teams this weekend. And once again, thanks for tuning into the Footy Fever. If you've got any input or want to join us on the couch, hit us up. We're going to have a big grand final show coming up. We've got the Leons coming out and the Steelers coming in. We'll have a full house.
Yeah.
Full house.
Great.
Beautiful.
And that's it from us on the couch.
Cheers.
Till next week.